You thought we were gone, and we're still here. I don't get it. I don't understand why we're back. Um, Origin after the grand final. Who would have thought? Abbas, bro, where you been, man? Hey.
Yeah, mate. Look, I'm just, trying to recover after that disappointing performance
Man,
by the Penny Panthers.
mate.
We're proud of them. Proud of them for making it that far, but it's unfortunate that we couldn't get that last one under our belt. And yeah, to your, I guess your happiness, we didn't break that 17 streak run, huh?
Oh man, look, it's a very tough streak to break. Let's be honest. I don't know. If it wasn't for the bullcrap scandal, we could have gone to 23, 24, 50. You never know. I'm joking. I'm joking. Nah, man, that was unlucky. That was a weird game, that grand final. That was such a weird game from right from the start. That kickoff, and then the way that we talked about it before. The way Melbourne just took every opportunity that Penrith gave them. I mean, it didn't feel like 22 nil at half time. And by the end of it, they pretty much scored those points back. So what could have been for the Panthers?
Yeah. I think there was some things that I think Penrith didn't do well. They probably should have. Melbourne had a high defensive line, especially defending on their own line. Their wingers were jamming in. I think Cleary and Luai should have tested that out and just put a grub in behind just to have the wingers second guessing a bit. None of that happened. And then you saw Vunivalu take that intercept, and pretty much, that was probably without that try, you might have things might have been different in the game. But oh well, it's a learning curve, and hopefully they come back better, bigger and better next year.
I mean, that's what scoreboard pressure does to you. And yeah, I think they'll learn from that. They'll be up there again. Let's be honest. I heard it before we get started. I mean, I heard something about Josh Mansell getting the flick on the side. It's pretty disappointing for him.
I heard about that too.
Um, that's pretty disappointing
Yeah,
for him.
look, hopefully he doesn't get the flick.
Whether
Yeah,
that's
look,
true or
hopefully he
not,
doesn't get the flick.
I don't know, but it's pretty good mail. So
Yeah, look, hopefully he doesn't get the flick. Hopefully it's just it's just them trying to breed in the younger guys, and I'm sure Josh will understand that. Hopefully he can still stay at Penrith, but if he does what's probably best for his family, he might take a contract elsewhere and just make as much money as he can before he retires.
I don't. I
But yeah,
don't think
if
he wants
that's
to
the
leave. I don't think he wants to leave. To be honest, I think he wants another crack at it because
no, I
he's at
don't
the end
think
of
he
his
does. I
career.
mean, we heard the story. Yeah, well, we heard the story of Gus talking about what it was like negotiating a contract with Josh Mansell, and he's got a lot of love for the Penrith club,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I don't think he does want to leave, but I guess that's why I have no issue with players, even young players, going out and getting the money they want and not showing loyalty, because at the end of the day, some clubs have to do what's best for themselves. So I think everyone should just approach their NRL career and NRL contract with doing what's best for yourself at the end of the day. Whether you think that's playing good football with a good club or that's getting the most money you can, that's the decision of the player.
What's a contract these days, right? Because people keep saying how selfish players are. No one talks about how selfish maybe a club is. Maybe wanting to force through their young guys. They're entitled to
Yeah,
it.
look,
If they
like I
feel like
said,
that, but
we always.
hmm,
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Penrith can actually get out of that contract with Josh Mansell. I think they've more asked him, you're probably not going to be playing first grade next year because of the boys coming in. So if you want to look at playing first grade, you're more than welcome to go look elsewhere. And then obviously that'll be them getting him off their hands. But look,
it is what
I
it
guess we're
is.
just gonna have to wait and see. Yeah.
It is what it is. And speaking of, it is what it is. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. This State of Origin series, I'm not happy about it. happening at this time of year. And so, there were warning signs about whether everyone was going to be available for this series. And obviously, clearly looking at the teams, they're not. Um, what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think maybe it's because I was watching Penrith in the grand final, and that's the team that I supported. I kind of feel like Origin's got a bit of bite out of it at the moment because it's just the end of the season. It's such a good formula to have it during the middle of the season because even if your team's not going that great, it's something to look forward to the middle of the season. We've gone through all the high emotions of semi-finals footy and now grand final footy that I feel maybe there's some. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. Sometimes I feel like I'm emotionally out of it in regards to Origin. It's probably the least G'd up I've been for any Origin over the last 10 years. So yeah, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see how I feel when kickoff happens. But yeah, in regards to the teams, I think both teams have. I mean, obviously New South Wales have the better team on paper than Queensland, but even at that, I think New South Wales probably picked a side that you know isn't their strongest. I think there's other players that could have made that squad that got overlooked, and maybe got overlooked because of Fittler picking experience instead of who's on form.
Well,
Um,
let's go through the team. I mean, the New South Wales team. James Tedesco at fullback. The wingers are Daniel Tupou and Josh Adokar. Centers Clint Gutherson and Jack Wyden. The halves Luke Keary and Nathan Cleary. I can't wait for the commentators to wrap their minds around that one. The four pack Daniel Saifidi, Junior Paulo in the front row. Hooker is Damien Cook. Second rows, Boyd Cordner is the captain. He's there with Tyson Frizzell. And at lock, it's Jake Trbojevic. On the bench, I think this is where they've done pretty well in naming them. Cody Walker, Payne Haas, Cameron Murray, Angus Crichton. That's a pretty strong bench.
yeah, look, the bench is not too bad. It's probably who would have been on the bench regardless of who was picked. I think they were the obvious choices. Um, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, um, I don't know what Boyd Cordner has left to offer other than captaincy, which there's
He's
many
only
other
28. He's
players in
only
this
28,
team.
man.
Yeah, but I mean, what's his? I didn't see much this season. All I saw him was pretty
Yeah,
much get concussed.
that's
Other
true.
than that, not much.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be completely honest with you too, I mean, somebody that I actually love, Jake Trbojevic, didn't think he had a great season. I don't know if his selection was warranted. Maybe a bench, maybe in the squad, but a starting lock position. It's comes to the point where you got to start. This has been a great, entertaining season of attacking football, and a lot of players have excelled in that. And I feel like rewarding some players would have been great. Tedesco, I agree with. The wingers are great. Clint Gutherson and Jack Wyden, I think they're solid. They'll be good defensively too.
You think
Um,
Gutherson's solid
with
there at
Clint
centre?
Gutherson, it's going to be interesting. Well, with Gutherson, it's going to be interesting to see his decision making in defense. Um, that's probably the only thing that's going to be a bit risky with him. He's going up against Dane Gagai, so I mean that's a good test for Clint Gutherson. He's had a great season, so hopefully, he can shine in Origin. But I don't think that's the position he'd probably want to play in. But I guess he'll take whatever he can. I think Kiri and Cleary are the right choices. I think people were saying Cody Walker should have been there. Look, I'm a fan of Cody Walker. However, I don't know if he's an Origin player. I like the thought of him coming off the bench. Being that X factor, but being there for the whole 80 minutes, I think it's putting a lot of pressure on him as a player. So I think that's the right choice. Saifidi, um, I don't know. What do you reckon about Saifidi? Do you reckon he should have started this after this year, or do you reckon they've just given it to him because of last year?
I think it's a bit of both. I think he was pretty good for the Knights. I know they were pretty disappointing, but I think he was a bit better than Clemmer. They were going to pick one of them regardless. I thought you could have gone Payne Haas. I would have gone Payne Haas, to be honest. Just that's me. But maybe the fact
I
that
mean, Payne, Payne Haas.
mm,
Sorry, yeah, I was saying Payne Haas is I mean, he's an 80-minute player. What? There's not much use having him on the bench. I know that they want to probably get the most out of him by giving him short spells, but I think they could have done better. I think Campbell Gillard's had a better season than Saifidi, if we're going to be honest.
yeah,
Um,
you could have
so
put him
I
in.
don't. I think Campbell Gillard should have probably been on the bench with or maybe even starting and have Payne Haas coming on with that engine towards the end of the game. Yeah, look, I think there's like a stigma ever since Queensland went on their, what was it, 9 in a row, 9 series in a row, that you know, the best way to do things is reward players that have won previous series, and I tend to agree in that in some sense. However, if they haven't performed to their standard for the whole season, I think their position should come under a review. For the likes of Saifidi and Cordner,
But
Jake Trbojevic.
Cordner was never going to get dropped. He's the captain. He's never ever going to get dropped.
I
I don't
understand,
I
but
don't think he's healthy. To be honest with you, I think he needs about 3 years rest. But that
well,
guy's put so much into the game the last couple of years. He's been playing to grand finals every year. Like you said, he's been concussed a couple of times this year.
mm,
I mean, this was. I just feel like maybe he's just he might be the detriment of the team, man. Honestly, because you saw last year in Game 3, he gave up that try to Papali. He just ran straight past him. That was last year in a Game 3 situation. Well, I thought New South Wales was
mm,
going to wrap that game up, if you remember. Um,
yeah.
he's shown to be in
Look,
the back end a
I know
bit.
what you mean. He wasn't going to get dropped, but
Mm.
sorry, bro. So what I was saying is, I know that you were saying that we knew he was never going to get dropped, but I kind of had hopes with Fitler to not do the stuff that, or not make the same mistakes that Laurie Daly made in the past. I was hoping that we might get some fresher. I mean, when's the last time we've had, as New South Wales fans, when's the last time we've had this much talent in a New South Wales squad?
Oh yeah, this has been a long time. We're like,
I don't know.
yeah,
Like
100%,
we
man.
have so much talent.
So much depth.
We have so much talent, and then we're still using the old heads. Like
But like I said, he's not actually old. He's only 28, but it
old
feels
heads
like
that
he's
haven't
been
had
there
great
forever.
seasons. Too.
It feels like he's been there for he has been there for 10, 11 years. So it is weird in that sense. But
No,
look,
I
mm,
get that he's only 28, but his work rate and his abilities have started to decline. He hasn't hit his peak. His peak is gone, I think.
I think he needs a rest. I just honestly think he needs a rest. he's been he's been putting his body through hell the last couple of years. That's what I kept saying. He needs a rest. I feel like you could have sat him out this. We have like you said, we've got abundance of talent. He could have played this year. It wasn't it wasn't necessary for him to be there. But like I said, he's the captain. He probably thinks he gives him a different spirit. He brings that. Leads the culture there in the team. I mean, it's more than just about his playing ability. You know what I mean? Picking him in the team. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Um.
I'm not sold on the centers, bro. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on Gutherson and Wyden at center because Wyden won the Dally M. He's the best player in the game.
mm,
Technically at
yeah.
5'8".
Wyden was always going to be there.
He should have played 5'8" for me. I know Kiri has been waiting for his go, but I really think Wyden should have been there.
Yeah,
I
because
think
then
they
what do you
should have
do? What
thrown
do you do?
They should have thrown the young guys in there. They should have thrown the young boys in there, Lomax and Crichton into centers. They should have thrown them in there. They've that
Look, I agree. I know.
They got picked because they performed at center. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Look, I agree. I think Crichton should have made it. I'm not 100% on Lomax just yet. Um, but at the same time, Jack Wyden, I know he did win Dally M as 5'8", but Probably the thing is that he's played center for a lot of his career, so it's good to have that versatility of having him there. Let's say Kiri gets injured, you slot him into the 5'8" role, and then you just put like a
But
you know
where do you put Cody
Angus
Walker?
Crichton.
Where do you put Cody Walker? What's Cody Walker in the team then?
Look again. I think he's done the same thing, and I think that's probably the reason why Appy wasn't picked is just because Fila's gone with a lot of players that can play multiple positions. Um, and they haven't been necessarily picked on form. They've been picked on versatility. Um, look, to be honest, I think we've covered everything we can with New South Wales.
Oh, look,
Let's
there's
move on
just a
to
lot of
Queensland because
it's just a thing, bro. That there's a lot of questions that we're asking, and like, but the general public think they're gonna win 3-0. They're gonna smash Queensland. I don't think that's the case. And you look at the Queensland team. I know they got eight debutants. We'll go through it. AJ Brimson, our fullback. The wingers Xavier Coates, Philip Sammy, other debutants as well. In the centers, Brenko Lee, Dane Gagai. In the halves, Munster, Cherry Evans. I think they're elite. I think they're going to be the key to their success if they have it this year. Front row, Christian Welch, Josh Papali'i, brother. I mean, he's a tank. Let's be honest. Jake Friend,
Papali'i.
Papali'i. Jake Friend at dummy half finally debuts. Second row, Kafusi and Hess. And at lock, it's Tino. I'm not going to say his last name. From Melbourne. The interchange bench, Ben Hunt, Lindsay Collins, Joy Arrow, Jaden Sewer. It's a fair few debutants in there, but I'll be honest, I think they're gonna get close this game, honestly. I think they'll be very close this game.
Well, look, the one thing that Queensland is really good at that New South Wales aren't is they're really good at putting in a good performance with a terrible team.
Yep.
I mean, that's probably the weakest backline I've seen Queensland have in the last 20 years.
I agree.
From before I can even remember what footy was. I mean, think about the backline they've had before. Like, the earliest memory of the backline Queensland had was Lottie Takiri and Wendell Sailor on each wing. When you had Lockie out at fullback, So like, um, it's probably the weakest backline that I've ever seen Queensland have. I'm not sure what. I didn't watch much of Titans this year because I wasn't a big fan. But I don't know what Brimson's going to offer at attack.
He's
What do
pretty
you think about
dynamic.
Brimson?
He's a pretty dynamic player. I mean, in the last 5 games, he stepped his game to another level. And I think, like I said, man, they
Is
got
he a
no.
ball player?
Yeah, he can ball play as well. Yeah, he's a 5'8" fullback. So like, there's no. I know there's this pressure, but I feel like there's pressure on New South Wales to live up to that expectation of smashing them. There's no expectation on Queensland. Everyone thinks they're going to get smashed. So I think they're going to revel in that. In
Yeah.
that, when the moment comes for these guys. Man, look, like I said, Munster, Cherry Evans. I think they can get the best out of anyone. They're really good at engaging their sides when big games
Well,
arrive.
I'll tell you right now, Queensland are going to do everything in their power to bully the young New South Wales squad. They're going to, I'm probably about 80% sure that there's going to be a fight, and it's just going to be a nothing fight that is led by Queensland just to fire them up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that could happen.
and yeah, Queensland's going to do everything they can to get New South Wales intimidated, which I don't know how they will with the forward pack. Like,
I think
New
Queensland's
South Wales
forward pack.
forward pack.
I think Queensland's forward pack stacks up, man. I honestly do.
No, I get that, but it's not that grubby forward pack that Queensland's known for. Like, Papali'i is not a grub. Welch is, I mean, he could be a guy that rolls up his teammates. Kafusi is not really a confrontational type. Cohen Hess is, I guess he is, and then you got the debutant Tino. Like, I don't know where they don't have that Sam Friday, that Gordon Tallis about him that's just gonna start something from nothing. You know what I mean?
They've got him on the
But you
bench,
never
but
know.
I think they got him on
Maybe
the
it's
bench.
Jake Friend. Maybe Jake Friend's gonna stand up. Start that fight.
Now, they got a few fighters on the bench, man. Jaden Sewer, Joy Arrow, Lindsay Collins. Those guys, when they come on, they're going to bring a bit of fire. Look, I actually like the Queensland team. I know, like you said, their backline's a bit weak, but I mean, you can't deny. I mean, Brinko Lee probably had the best season of his life. So due to injury as well, he gets a start. He'll be on a high after the grand final. Dan Gagai always performs at Origin level. Like I know he might be on and off in clubland, but every time Origin comes around, he's doing something special. And you
Mm.
got a guy Philip Sammy, Xavier Coates on the wing, very quick players, and they're not going to be asked to do too much by Wayne Bennett. Wayne Bennett's not going to make it complicated for these guys. He's going to simplify everything for these guys.
Well, I know exactly what he's going to do. So Xavier Coates is on the Addo Carr's wing, so he's just going to put up. They're just going to put crossfield
Bomb,
kicks to Xavier Coates all
yeah.
day.
And 50 and more than
However,
50%, he's going to go for them, and he probably catch one of them. I don't know if I put it down, but he's going to have a really good, chance at getting an oval at Addo.
yeah, look, I mean, Queensland have game plans, and if Wayne Bennett is to win this game, he's got to have the best game plan possible. I think Branko Lee had a good season. However, he has been, he was, from what I could see, he was identified as a weak link in Melbourne's defense. So that's why Penrith attacked him a lot during the game. To his credit, he did well in the grand final, defensive-wise, but that was under the coaching of Craig Bellamy. I don't know how he's going to fend up defensive-wise with Wayne Bennett. Look, at the end of the day, if New South Wales come out to play, they'll win. If they come out expecting they're gonna win this, then Queensland's gonna have something else to
Yeah,
they're gonna spoil the
100%.
party pretty much.
100%.
But yeah, look, I mean, I'm confident to say
Go, tip. Give us a tip. Let's go. Let's go straight to the tip.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
The first game's in Adelaide.
That's the
Second
thing. I
game's in
don't
New
think it's
South
gonna be a
Wales.
blowout because even New South Wales have got some.
Mm.
Well, that's the thing. New South Wales have got some fairly non-experienced players on here. I mean, not that many, to be fair. Look, I'll say New South Wales 1-12. I think Queensland will put in a fight. I don't think they'll get close, but I think they might score some tries at the back end of the game that might make it 1-12. But I think New South Wales will be comfortable.
Yeah, I'll go New South Wales by 4. I'm not denying New South Wales is not going to win this game. I just don't think everyone's saying it's going to be 13 plus. It's going to be by 30. I'll be shocked if it is. I'll be honest with you. I would be shocked because Queensland don't usually, like you said, when Queensland have a bad team, they usually get the best out of them. Unlike New South Wales, when we don't have any talent, we just seem to give up. So yeah, I think New South Wales will get them by 4. Um, just to quickly before we end this, they're gonna have about 3 games in 15 days. Do you think these are going to be the same teams coming next week? Because I don't.
I think you might see some changes out of the New South Wales squad if they win this week. Obviously, to give some of their players a rest, knowing that they have an extra game in hand, and also to kind of give experience to other players that are out there. I think it all depends who wins the first game and how they win it by. If it's a close game either way, I don't think there's going to be many changes unless there's injuries. But if one team, runs away with it, then they might, exercise that because they've got they've got 27-man squad now, so they might exercise and just, because I mean, if you look at that squad that New South Wales have, 27-man squad, they could literally pick anyone. They can literally pick
Yeah, of
anyone and they'll
course.
do
I
a job.
mean, look at the play.
Do
Look
you
at the
know what I mean?
players
So
missing. Yeah, look at the players missing that aren't playing. Cameron McInnes, Campbell Gillard, Nathan Brown, Zach Lomax, Stephen Crichton, Jerome Luai. They all slot in. You can slot any of them in. To be honest,
Isaiah Yo,
Isaiah Yo, I forgot about him as well. So you can slot any of these guys in. Just before we end it
yeah.
as well, I mean, our Queenslander mate who's just gone missing. I mean, maybe he's ashamed to jump on because he doesn't give them a hope. Hey, he's given us a scoreline of 34-20 to New South Wales. He's got no hope in his Queensland team.
Didn't he say he's going for New South Wales because
If
Gutho's played
Gutherson was
starting.
fullback.
Oh,
If
if
Gutherson was
Gutherson was
fullback.
fullback,
And I'll be going for
okay.
Queensland if Gutherson went to fullback. That's no lie.
Okay, fair enough. So he thinks it's going to be a high-scoring match.
I think so. I think the six
I
again
mean,
rule's
it
gonna.
could
I think
be.
the six again rule's gonna play a factor here. He's gone missing. Is he back?
Bad day. That's a bad day. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yep. What were you saying? I was saying the
I
six
said
again rule. Mm.
yeah, I'm saying if New South Wales can see 20 points to this Queensland team, that's a bad day. I mean, not saying that Queensland can't win, but but I don't like. I expect if Queensland were to win, I expect them to win maybe like 10-4. I expect them defense to get them the job done. You know what I mean? So if Queensland put 20 points on New South Wales, and that's not a. I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah. Oh, look. I
nothing
mean,
to be
it's
proud
look.
of.
Look. It is a possibility. Like I
Unless
said.
Queensland have a blinder.
Yeah, I mean, like we haven't really seen too many low-scoring finals games, and how high intensity are they? So that's probably a clue into what's going to happen this Origin series. You got players coming back after a month or a month and a bit from playing footy, or full contact, full match footy. So it's going to be it is going to be weird for a lot of these guys. To take them a bit to settle in. Um, hey, it could happen. You never know, man. It could be 40-30. Who knows, bro? Who knows? Anyway, thanks, Sebas, once again for joining us.
Who knows?
Are we jumping on? When are we going to do a post game show?
I don't know. It might. We
If you're
never
lucky.
know. Maybe
Look, if you're lucky.
stay active at our Instagram account. You know, maybe we'll go
You,
live.
you never know. You never know. All right, thanks, mate. Take care, and everyone enjoy the game.